This person has picked up their phone to contact you more times than you will ever know. And every single time, something stopped them at the last second. Not because they do not love you, but because they are afraid of what your answer might be. Take a deep breath, because what I am about to tell you is the reason behind every silence they ever gave you. They have been standing at the edge of reaching out to you. Not just thinking about it, not just considering it. Standing at the edge. The way someone stands at the edge of water before they jump. Their whole body ready, their whole heart ready. But something in their mind keeps pulling them back before they fall. Almost. That word has been living inside them for weeks. Almost said it. Almost sent it. Almost called. Almost showed up. Almost let the truth come out and land at your feet. But almost is not the same as doing it. And the space between almost and actually is where they have been living. It is a painful space, a space full of words that were ready but never spoken. A space where courage and fear take turns winning. And right now, at this very moment, courage is starting to win. They are closer to reaching out than you think. Let your body settle into this moment. What you are about to hear is not a coincidence. The universe has been holding this message until you were ready to receive it. And now you are here, not because you searched for it, but because your soul called it in. And when a soul calls something in, the divine does not hesitate. Subscribe now and turn on all notifications so you never miss when the universe has something to share with you. This person has been carrying something they cannot hold much longer. Not the surface, not the version they show the world. The real thing. The thing that keeps them awake at night. The thing that makes their hands shake when they even think about typing your name. They decided to reach out to you. Not today, not this week. They made that decision a while ago. The decision was made in a moment they did not expect. Maybe it was an ordinary afternoon when the light hit something and everything reminded them of you. Maybe it was a stranger saying a word you always used. Maybe it was lying awake when the world was asleep and feeling your absence pressing down on them. Maybe it was the moment they realized that the life they are living without you does not feel like living at all. The decision was made. The heart said yes. The soul said yes. But the mind said wait. And they have been waiting ever since. Not because they do not want to reach out, but because they are afraid of what happens when they do. They are closer to reaching out than you think, but the fear standing between them and you is not the kind of fear you might imagine. If you have ever felt your phone vibrate and hoped it was them, type almost in the comments. Let the universe know that you have been standing on your side of the same edge. They are not afraid that you will be angry. They are not afraid of your silence. They are not afraid that you will reject them with harsh words or cold distance. Those fears would be easier. Those fears have clear shapes. A person can prepare for those fears. A person can rehearse how to respond to rejection. But this fear has no shape. This is something they cannot prepare for. They are afraid that you have outgrown them. They are afraid that while they remained still, you kept moving forward. They are afraid that the person you have become no longer needs someone like them. They are afraid that they waited too long, that the window they believed would always stay open has quietly started to close. Not with a sound, not with a message, but through the steady way you began building a life that does not depend on whether they show up or not. And the hardest part is that they are not entirely wrong because you have changed. Not into someone cold, not into someone closed, but into someone who no longer waits for permission to feel complete. Into someone whose silence is no longer empty. Into someone whose peace does not rely on whether someone chooses to speak. They can feel that even from where they are, even across the distance. They can sense that you are not the same person who used to reach out first, who used to carry the weight of both hearts, who used to keep the door open no matter how many times they walked past it. You did not become harder. You became clearer, and that clarity is the very thing that unsettles them, because the version of you who would have accepted anything is gone, and the version standing here now will only accept what is real. They are closer to reaching out than you think. but they want to make sure that when they finally speak, what comes out is worthy of who you have become. Place one hand on the side of your neck right now. Feel your pulse. That rhythm is the same rhythm their heart is beating right now. Not because of science, but because of something older than science, something sacred. Two hearts that once found each other never fully lose their rhythm. You can feel it because it has always been there. Quiet, steady, beneath everything else. The divine placed that rhythm between you, and it has never stopped. Now let me tell you what they have been doing when no one is watching. They have been rehearsing, not in front of a mirror, not out loud, but inside the space behind their ribs where the truth lives. They have been having conversations with you that you have never heard. Long ones, real ones. The kind they should have had with you when you were still close enough to touch. In those conversations they say everything, the things they swallowed, the things they held back, the things that sat on their tongue for months but never made it past their teeth. They say they should have spoken sooner. They say they did not realize how much you meant to them until your absence broke something they cannot name. They say they are not the same without you, and they are tired of pretending that they are. These conversations happen every day, sometimes more than once. Sometimes in the shower when the water covers every sound. Sometimes while driving when their hands are busy but their mind is free. Sometimes in the space between sleep and morning where the truth slips out before the walls go back up. Sometimes in the middle of a crowded room where no one knows what is happening inside them. They are standing right there, having the most honest conversation of their life inside their own chest with you, about you, because of you. They have said your name more times in private than they have ever said it out loud. They have told you things in their mind that they have never told another living soul. They have apologized. They have explained. They have opened themselves in ways that would terrify them if anyone could hear. But no one can hear except the universe. And the universe has been listening to every single word. They have rehearsed reaching out to you so many times that the words are worn smooth inside them. But worn smooth is not the same as spoken, and the gap between thinking it and saying it is where all their fear lives. They are closer to reaching out than you think. Every rehearsal brings them closer. Every conversation they have with you inside their own chest moves them one step nearer to the moment they finally say it out loud. The universe has a name for this. It is called the invisible rehearsal. It is what happens when a soul knows the truth, but the mouth has not caught up yet. And the divine does not waste a single one. Every word they said to you in secret is still alive, still echoing, still building toward the moment it finally reaches the surface. The spiritual world holds every rehearsal as sacred, because a heart that practices the truth is a heart that is almost ready to speak it. In the comments, write one thing you would say to them if they reached out tonight. Just one thing. Let the universe carry it. Something has been happening to you while they have been rehearsing. Something quiet, something powerful, something the divine has been building inside you without you even realizing it. You stopped performing love and started simply being it. There was a time when you would have done anything to make this person stay. When you would have bent yourself into shapes that did not fit just to become what they needed. When you measured your worth by how quickly they replied. That time is over. Not because someone ended it, but because you outgrew it. You outgrew the version of yourself that needed their voice to feel real. You learned to fill your own silence with something that belongs to you. Not noise, not distraction, something quieter than that. Something that feels like ground beneath your feet that no one gave you and no one can take away. Jung once said that the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. You have been doing exactly that in the silence, without a guide, without their permission. You became yourself, and that self is what they cannot stop thinking about. They are closer to reaching out than you think, and the person they are trying to reach is someone they have never met before. The new you, the clear you, the you that does not need them but would choose them if they came with something real. That is the version that keeps them awake. not because it pushes them away, but because it pulls them closer with a force they cannot ignore. If you already know you are ready for whatever comes next, type "ready" in the comments. Those words are not for them. They are for the part of you that already knows its own strength. Their fear has been doing something to their body, because fear does not only live in the mind. It lives in the muscles, in the breath, in the hands. And their body has been telling a story their words refuse to tell. Their hands shake when your name crosses their mind. Not a big shake, a small one. The kind only they would notice. The kind that happens when the body knows something the mind is still fighting. Their breath catches at random moments. In the middle of a sentence, in the middle of a crowded room, something connects to you, and their lungs forget how to work for half a second. Their sleep is different now, restless. They lie down and their body is tired, but something inside their chest will not settle. It moves, it turns, it reaches. And they know exactly who it is reaching for. And you have felt this too. You have woken up at strange hours and felt something in the air that you could not explain. A weight that was not yours. A sadness that came from nowhere. That was not your sadness. That was theirs reaching across the distance. Your body has been receiving what their mouth refuses to send, and you were not imagining it. The connection between you does not need words to carry feeling. It never did. Jung once said that what disturbs us about others often reveals something about ourselves. What disturbs them right now is not your silence. It is what your silence forced them to see inside themselves. A version of them that was too afraid to love you the way you deserve. And that realization is the most uncomfortable thing they have ever experienced. But that discomfort is not destroying them. It is reshaping them. The divine is using their discomfort the way fire uses heat, not to destroy, but to refine, to burn away every excuse, every lie, every wall built out of fear instead of truth. What is left underneath is something raw and honest and sacred, something that is almost ready to speak. They are closer to reaching out than you think. Their body is already moving toward you. Their mind is the only thing still holding the leash, and that leash is starting to fray. If you believe their body is already pulling them toward you right now, type "they feel it" in the comments. Let the universe record that you felt it too. There is a gravity between you and this person, not emotion, not memory. Something that has its own weight, its own direction, its own pull. Every day they do not contact you, the pull gets stronger. Not weaker, stronger. That is the nature of connections like yours. Silence does not dissolve them. Silence concentrates them the way pressure turns coal into something that cannot be broken. The space between you is not empty. It is dense. It is heavy. It is filled with every word they did not say, every feeling they tried to bury, every moment they almost reached out but pulled back at the last second. All of that is mass now. All of that is momentum. And momentum does not ask permission. It does not wait until someone is ready. It moves when the weight becomes too much to hold still. The universe calls this soul momentum. It is what happens when feelings have been growing in the dark for so long that they develop their own direction, their own force. It is no longer a question of whether they want to reach out. It is a question of how much longer they can stop themselves. They feel it in moments they cannot predict. A sudden tightness in their throat, a heaviness in their chest at an hour that has no reason to feel heavy. A pull in their body that makes them turn in a direction they were not planning to go. As if something invisible is rearranging their steps without asking. They are reaching the point where the weight of not contacting you is heavier than the fear of doing it. That is the tipping point. That is the moment the universe has been building toward. Not with force, but with patience, with the slow, sacred build of everything they feel for you, pressing against every wall they ever built. Something is about to give. And when it does, it will not appear as a decision. It will feel like something that could no longer be held back. They are closer than they have ever been. And while all of this has been building inside them, you have been standing on solid ground, not waiting, not frozen, not holding your breath. You have been living. And that living has changed something in you in a way nothing else could. You became someone who does not need an answer in order to breathe. You became someone whose peace is not borrowed from another person's voice. You became someone who can carry the weight of not knowing without allowing it to take away from today. You did not let the waiting define you. You did not let the silence become your cage. You carried the uncertainty and still continued to plant things. You still laughed. You still made plans that had nothing to do with them. You still woke up every morning, placed your feet on the ground, and chose to be here, fully present in your own life. That is not something small. That is sacred, and the divine has witnessed every single day of it. Their hesitation is not your burden. Their rehearsal is not your burden. Whatever they are working through right now belongs to them. The fear, the shame, the guilt of knowing they should have spoken sooner, the fear of wondering if sooner has already become too late. None of that is yours to carry. Your life did not pause when they went quiet. Your life kept moving. And the distance between where you were and where you are now proves that you never needed their voice to find your own direction. You do not owe anyone a door that stays open forever. You do not owe anyone a second chance just because they finally found the courage to ask. You do not owe anyone an answer at the speed of their urgency. You answer at the speed of your peace. That is not cruelty, it is wholeness. And if they come to you, your heart will know what to do. You will sense if their words carry truth or just fear. You will recognize the difference between someone reaching out because they are afraid of losing you and someone reaching out because they are finally ready to love you. Those are not the same, and you know that now. You learned it in the quiet. You learned it the hard way, and what you learned cannot be unlearned. They are closer to reaching out than you think. But whether they arrive tomorrow or next month, the version of you standing here right now does not shrink for anyone's timing. If you have been noticing signs that something is about to change, type "the signs are real" in the comments. Let those words carry your awareness into the universe. The signs have already begun. The universe has been sending them, and you may have already noticed. Maybe you had a dream about this person that lingered long after waking. Maybe you felt a sudden warmth in your chest in the middle of a normal day with no reason. Maybe their name appeared somewhere it shouldn't have. Maybe a song that once belonged to both of you played exactly when you were thinking of them. Maybe you woke up at a time that felt too specific to be random. Maybe a pull in your body was so strong you almost picked up your phone before catching yourself. These are not accidents. These are not your imagination. These are signals from the spiritual world. The divine sends them when two souls are about to reconnect. When the distance between you has become so thin that energy starts slipping through before words do, you are feeling their rehearsal. You are feeling their almost. You are sensing the moment before the moment. And the universe wants you to know that what you are sensing is real. The universe calls this last stretch the final hesitation. It is the sacred pause that happens right before someone crosses a line they cannot take back. The divine does not allow people to reach out carelessly, not when the connection is this deep, not when the stakes are this high. The final hesitation is not a block, it is a test. The universe is asking them one question: is this real enough that you will still mean it tomorrow? And they are answering that question right now. Every day they sit with their feelings instead of running from them is another day they pass the test. Every night they lie awake with your name in their chest is another night the divine confirms that what they feel is not temporary. It is not confusion. It is not loneliness disguised as love. It is real. And the final hesitation is almost over. Open your hands right now, palms up, as if holding something invisible. That is the space where their words will land when they finally speak. You do not have to reach for it. You just have to be open, not desperate, not waiting. Open the way the ground opens when rain finally falls. You are ready. Not because you need what they are about to say, but because you have already become whole without it. And that wholeness is what allows you to receive it without losing yourself in it. Their reaching out may not look like what you imagined. It will not be smooth. It will not be a perfect speech with every word in the right place. It will not arrive wrapped in confidence. It will be messy. It may shake. It may come out sideways because the truth has been trapped inside them for so long that it forgot how to move in a straight line. Maybe it will be a message at an odd hour, 2 or 3 words that took them 40 minutes to type. Maybe it will be a voice on the phone that cracks on the first sentence and then goes quiet for 10 seconds. Maybe it will be them showing up somewhere with no plan, no script, just their face, just their eyes, the look of someone who ran out of reasons not to come. Maybe it will be something small that only you two would understand, a song sent without a caption, a reply to an old message, a question that doesn't directly ask what they want, but is about needing to hear your voice one more time. Or maybe it will arrive in a form without words at all. Maybe you will see them where you did not expect, and their face will say everything their mouth cannot. In that moment, you will feel the weight of every rehearsal they carried in their chest. You will feel the months of almost pressing on the space between you, and you will know before they speak, before they explain, that what they bring to you is real. It will not be perfect, and that imperfection is how you will know it is real, because real things do not arrive polished. Real things arrive trembling, and that tremble is the proof. They are closer to reaching out than you think, and you are closer to knowing exactly how to respond when they do. The universe has been watching both of you this entire time. It watched them rehearse, hesitate, almost reach, and then pull back. It watched you continue, keep breathing, keep moving, keep becoming someone whose light does not flicker just because someone else is still deciding whether to step into it. The divine does not take sides, but it notices who keeps showing up for themselves even when no one else does. And you have been showing up for yourself every single day of their silence. Whatever is coming will not ask you to guess. It will not leave you wandering in the dark. It will not feel like another round of silence disguised as hope. What is coming will either be real enough to meet you where you are, or it will not be enough to make you turn around. Either way, you will be standing firmly on your own ground when it arrives. You do not have to hold your breath for what is coming. Let it arrive as naturally as morning does. Not because you called it, but because it was always meant to arrive. Maybe what they bring will be the start of something you have both been waiting for. Maybe their voice will carry the weight of everything they rehearsed and touch you like warm rain after a long, dry season. Maybe you will hear them, and your body will say yes before your mind catches up. Maybe what has been building in silence will finally have a voice, and that voice may be soft, trembling, imperfect, but completely real. Or maybe what the universe brings will not come from them at all. Maybe it will come from a direction you never expected, a door you didn't know existed, or a feeling you didn't realize you were allowed to feel. A love so steady it does not need rehearsal before it speaks. Either way, you are ready. You have been ready longer than you realize, through every quiet morning, through every night without answers. Every moment you chose to keep moving forward, even when the silence gave you every reason to stop, has been shaping the version of you who can handle whatever comes next without breaking. They are closer to reaching out than you think, and you are already exactly where you need to be. Before you go, type closer than ever in the comments. Let those words seal this moment between you and what is coming. The universe does not hold a signal this long without a reason. You are the reason. You have always been the reason, not because you need saving, but because you became the kind of soul the divine trusts with what comes next. Whatever unfolds between now and the moment their voice finally reaches you, carry this with you. You are always worth reaching out to. You are always worth the fear it costs to speak the truth. You are always worth someone standing at the edge to say what they feel.